Alright, we're going to continue with our cannon game, and what we need right now are some obstacles and some platforms for those obstacles to sit on. So as of right now in the game, you can take the cannon, you can shoot it, you can rotate it and change where you're firing, but the problem that we have with this cannon right now again is that there's nothing to shoot at. So that's what we're going to be starting in this project. In this part of the project. In the next part, though, in the next assignment, we're actually going to put the obstacles and the platforms on the screen. So right now it's just creation of those obstacles and platforms. So that's what we're going to start out with. Up here at the top, we need to store these in some variables. So we're going to make the platforms, and we're going to make the obstacles as well. And that, of course, is to place we need platforms to place the obstacles on. Once we have platforms, then we would place the obstacles on top of them. So, of course, these are going to be stored in variables. So we're going to start with, it doesn't matter actually which ones you start with. We're going to start with platforms, and then we're going to have obstacles. Now, you could put these on two separate lines of code. I don't really need to do that. Neither do you, but you can if you want to. And with this, down here at the bottom, of course, you could run the code right now. You should run the code to make sure that there's at least no errors. At this point, you'd only have to have spelled let wrong. And before we run it in the function, let's go ahead and just make it down below the draw function. So again, I'm at the end of my draw function, which for me is on line 60. Oh, and it's in the customized functions, right? So I need to come down to my customized functions, and we're going to be making the platforms and obstacles. And we're going to do that with a function that we're going to call well, platforms and obstacles. Open parentheses, close parentheses, open fancy brackets, close fancy brackets, and this allows me to put that in the properties of the platforms and obstacles once I'm ready. And you see down here, I've highlighted platforms and obstacles with the parentheses just to make sure I don't misspell anything or miss any uppercase, lowercase typing in this, and then I just come up here to my setup function and I do Control V, which is just, again, it's going to save me some time and the possibility of mistakenly typing or mistyping things. So with that, at least, again, you should have no errors. And at this point, you should run the code so that you don't have any errors. And if you don't have any errors, well, let's get started with the rest of this. So we're going to make our platforms. What platforms? Yeah, platforms and obstacles with an S. And we're going to make these a new group. So open parentheses, close parentheses after group. Again, run your code, make sure there's no errors. If there's no errors, we can move on. Now that we have these in a group, what we want to do is put or form these. So I'm going to start with the width, and I'm going to make these a width of 25. I think that works pretty well. Again, run your code, make sure there's no errors. If there's no errors, we can put in the next line of code, platforms.height, height. And for this one, 10 worked for me pretty good on this one. So we'll keep it at that. Run your code, make sure it works, that you don't have any errors or that the screen goes blank, because if it does, then you know you made some errors. But as of right now, I have a height for my platforms. Again, we can't see any of these, but we're forming it, and then later on we'll put them on the screen because this lesson is about tile making. So we're going to give these also a color, and the color that I chose was orange. Again, it's just a convenient color to use, but again, remember, you can go to your hex color picker, you can go to a color, the names of colors on W3 Schools, and then use those if you need to. But next up, oh, look what I did. If you did this, you would have gotten an error, wouldn't you? I need to put platforms.color. Yeah, I just did color on that. Took a little bit of a mental shortcut right there, which would have destroyed us. But now that we have that in there, of course, you should run the code, make sure there's no errors. Since there should not be any errors, we got platforms.collider. And these ones, the platforms, we just want to remain still. So we don't want these affected by gravity or collision. So we're going to go with static, S-T-A-T-I-C. And with the collider up, now we're going to assign a tile to these platforms. So platforms.tile space equals space, and I chose P for platforms as my tile character. Okay. Now again, run the code, make sure there's no errors. If there's no errors, then we can start on our obstacles. Now maybe I should just copy and paste that, but I think I should be good. New group, just like we did with the platforms, and then we got obstacles dot, again, let's just form it, obstacles dot width, width, and I wanted these to be a little bit thinner than the platforms. So 15 I thought was good, but 20 would work. And we'll go to obstacles.height, and these ones I want them to be kind of tall and skinny, so I made them 20, but maybe that's not even tall enough. Again, you decide. Change those numbers as you wish until you get the size that you want. Of course, we can't do that right now. We're going to have to wait till the next assignment to do that. But now we have obstacles formed. Let's go ahead and give them a color of, I'm going to give mine red. But again, you choose the color that you want. Run the code, make sure it works. If it works, let's continue. Obstacles.tile, just like we did for the platforms. And I gave the tile O for, well, obstacles. So I'm using P's and O's here. And that right there will form the objects, even though when you run the code right now, of course, nothing is being shown. But you'll notice that there's no errors. And as long as you are error-free, then we can continue to the next assignment, okay? In any case, this is my function right there. So if you need to, pause the video so you can get the code, or, we had put the function, or we ran the function in the setup function, as you can see from line 16. And then at the very top, we did need some variables to store those objects into. Okay, well, that's going to do it for this assignment. Make sure you get it submitted, get the credit, and we'll see you in the next one.